Hi, welcome to my channel, Kayla's Crafted Creations. I'm Kayla, and today we're going to make this super easy card holder, because I know many of you make cards but don't know how to display them in an affordable way. So I came up with this card holder which is slanted at the sides and it's robust enough to hold, well, how many cards have I got here? 2, 4, 6, 8. I'd say at least 20 cards. And all it costs is some paper and some card and a little bit of time. So we're going to go ahead and start making this. Now all the measurements will be on my blog, so don't worry too much about taking it all down and getting it all right. Now for this I've actually made my own DSP using the brightly gleaming stamp set. I've used the holly out of that and just coloured it in with my blends, and then used Versamark and gold embossing powder to make the little dots, but also in the stamp set, so it's all nice and easy. Now I've cut everything to shape on my DSP, and obviously I didn't think you'd want to be sitting watching me stamp and colour, so I thought I'd do that all beforehand. So what you're going to need to begin with is a piece of card that measures 11 3/4 by 7 3/4, and what we're going to do, we're going to score this. Let's just move that out of the way. Now I'm using my new trimmer, which you can get via the online shop. Where are we going to score this? We're going to score this at half. Now this does have two blades. There's the cutting blade, which is the dark one, and then the scoring blade, which is the light one. So we're going to score this at 1/2 inch. Just lock that into place. 5 and 1/4 inch. I have to do it like this because I haven't got a lot of space on my desk. Open that up, and we're hoping once the craft room's done I'll be able to do this with lots of space. 8 1/4 inch. Obviously this is handy where it rolls out and you can score up to 17 inches long, or 17 1/4 by the looks of it. 11 1/4. Oh. Then we're going to turn it round. I'm going to score it 1/2 inch. Now this does clip into place and it does hold really well, but I have trouble opening it, only because I don't open things the way you should do, I suppose. So if you use the little lever it would probably be a bit easier, but why would we do things the way they're supposed to be done? And then we're going to score it at 7 1/4. Now we're not quite finished with our scoring tool or our trimmer. I'm going to put that to one side. Now you're also going to need two pieces that measure 4 3/4 by 3 to make the sides. Now I've trimmed it, so we're going to trim this down. I'm going to mark on here 3 inches, because what we're going to do, so we'll pop that together, and then what we're going to do, we're going to line up the corner and that little mark that we've just made. Now I'm cutting both at the same time, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in and trim it just a little bit in before we go scaling across, so we don't damage our card corners, give ourselves a wrinkled corner. So that's that for the trimming and this one. Now the DSP, I've done exactly the same with that, but I'll give you the sizes while we're here. We need a piece that's 2 3/4 by 6 1/2, a piece that's 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, piece that's 2 pieces that are 4 3/8 by 2 3/4, and you need to trim them to 2 3/4. So on the diagonal, trim it 2 3/4, and remember you need 2 opposite sides. So remember to back it on to each other, positive to positive or negative to negative side, to give you the angle corners for both. Now this is the easy part. Just pop that there. We're going to fold and burnish all the score lines. I've lost my scoring tool, my bone folder that I normally use, so we're just using this one while I find the other one. I don't know how I managed to lose things in such small spaces. Oh, we haven't burnished that score line there. I'll give them a nice burnish. Then go in with your snips and angle wedge out every corner of every score line. So just wedge out, as you can see, everywhere there's a score line you're going to wedge out. You're going to lose that little square on the corner. You don't need that, so we're going to get rid of that. But by nipping out each corner, we're just getting ready for bringing our bits in and making it so that we can put it together easily without having bits overhang. Now we are still going to need to trim a bit once we've got the sides on, because obviously we don't know the angle that the paper is. Well, we do know the angle, but it's easier to do once you've got the sides on. So what we're just going to do is just sit it like this. Just move that out of the way. Now remember, all the sizes and the scoring is on the blog, because I am going a little bit fast at the moment. I do appreciate that, but obviously I want to keep this video nice and short. Now let's just do that, and we're going to glue I'm using wet glue. You can use tear and tape, you can use snail. I like wet glue because I believe it gives a stronger finish because it meshes the fibres. So that's my belief. Although it does take a little bit longer to dry. So that little rub. And on the other side. Then we're going to turn around and put the other side on. Now remembering to keep the sides in line with your long side and your short side, because on one of my ones that I made, I actually did make the mistake of trying to put it on back to front. Luckily enough I saved it, but if you're not paying attention it's an easy mistake to make. So just keep in mind that this is handed. Alright, just gluing that into place. Now the reason I've done both sides at the same time is because I'm going to bring the back up first and then bring the sides up. Now what I want to do is I just want to glue this flap down. Just rub it down using your bone folder. Just making sure it gets a good bond. Got a little bit of glue escaping there. Right, now we're going to glue this side to the back. Just going to go like that. Just making sure that's straight. Wiping off the excess glue off that corner. Now as I said, you will have that little angled bit to trim, which is just here. So just taking that and just trimming it down. Just that simple with your snips. Glue you back into place. Ooh. Making sure it doesn't move. And like I did, I managed to move mine. There you go. And just trim that little bit off there. Now I'm going to glue this top bit, this edge first. That's it, and get it to flip over. And then you wonder why I have trouble opening and closing the trimmer. I can't even fold over a bit of paper. Just run that across there. Making sure that's holding. I've got glue all over it, all over my phone. Alright. Let's put glue there. I'm also going to put the glue on this side, because I don't want to mess around bending it out. I'm just going to bring them in and then attach that side. Making sure you don't move it, which I did again. Allow that to hold, and then bring the other side in. Attach that, allowing that to take hold. Just lining it up properly. Now I've used the thick Whisper White just to give it that bit more strength, but you can use the ordinary Whisper White or coloured cardstock, and that is your basic box. So then we're just going to add the DSP. That bit. The back. Now I just love the brightly gleaming stamp set. It's got the ornaments in it. It's got, but I just love this large holly. I've used it loads of times. I just really love the large holly. I think it's very pretty. And team that with a little bit of gold there, it's going to be ideal for my Christmas cards. You know, you can take these to your fairs and have like one for birthday, one for thank you cards, one for Christmas cards, male birthdays, you name it, anniversaries. You have one for each section, you know, or a couple for each section, and they've cost you pennies. And it just a little bit of glue just to hold that in place. There we go. And that's our box so far. Now I'm going to team this with a bit of ribbon just to finish it off. Turn that like that. Straight, yep. square knot. Oh, trim that like that, and that like that, and there we have it, our card box. It's as simple as that. 20 minutes and you've made a box. Well, less than that if you speed yourself up a little bit, but yeah, nice and simple, nice and sturdy, holds your cards in place. You know, you can use different designs of paper. You can even do it by suite of what cards you've made. So I'm going to be using mine for Christmas cards, so most of what's in here. So yeah, and then I hope you like what I've made and you hit the subscribe button. As I said, all my sizes and measurements will be on my blog. Literally pop over there, hit like, subscribe on that too. See all my crafty creations. So I don't always do videos, I sometimes do virtual logs, but my next video will be on this. I saw a tutorial by Connie Stewart, I believe it was, and I absolutely loved hers, but I wanted to make mine slightly differently, so I've gone away and had a think and come up with this. And it's a notebook and pen set, which I haven't put the pen in there set, note card and pen set, I haven't put pen in there yet, but I have made one already that's complete, but not in Stampin' Up stuff, so I can't show that on here at the moment. So I hope you'll join me for that tutorial, and thanks once again for watching. Bye.